Okay, folks, this will be an interesting one. A bit boring, but hey, it can come up a treat. It should do. Actually, I forgot. I'm going to switch it to black mode, black and white. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have here a chopstick wrapper. So this is like for sushi hub. So chopsticks, if I'm correct. I haven't had sushi for a long time, folks, I must say. Found this. Yeah, that's come up looking really quite interesting. So we got here that our sushi hub piece so far looks really quite nice. Hopefully that's turned out looking nice. Yeah, that looks really quite interesting, quite intriguing actually. We can utilise that. Wondering if we're going to angle it or if we're going to make it a movement. We're going to use this as our master copy. Okay. Yeah, that's come up better than I thought actually. That jagged movement made this, I think, contributed to this nice looking bit. Wondering if we're going to utilise it like so. So this is it. This is our last piece that we've just output. So we're going to make something out of this. This will be a tricky one, folks. Try and get this in the right place, to get this in the best place I can. I can't get in there because of the fucking dock feeder. Or it's going to probably work, hopefully. Yeah, that's looking quite nice. Okay, overall, but still it's not what I want. Yeah, folks, the name Sushi Hub reminds me of a different hub. It reminds me of this sort of hub, a Biz Hub. The word Biz Hub is not there. The company that I got the machine from took the badges off, and I don't know why, but they did. But they're a good company. But basically, this is a Biz Hub, and the word Biz Hub makes me think of, well, it used to make me think of efficiency and that, until one day I started thinking that, well, maybe companies like Konica Minolta, who build the Biz Hub, are not as good as they like to make out that they are, and I really want to change the way photocopiers are designed, and one day I want to redesign the entire lot to make a copier system worthy of its badging. And yeah, and that companies that, like the company that pulled the badge off this machine, will not feel a need to do that because they like the machinery that's on offer. And basically, yeah, the way the companies are, the companies who build the photocopiers, they're basically money fucked. They just care about money and nothing else. So, you know, they really don't care about you, or they don't care about us, they don't care about the environment, they just care about themselves and their money. But one day I'd like to build a photocopier where the hardware lasts 60 years instead of the normal 5 years, which is typical for how long the spare parts, consumables and servicing will be guaranteed. And the companies like Konica Minolta don't seem to care. I'm going to move it across that way. They don't seem to care at all. They just care about money. So yeah. But basically I want to redesign the photocopier. I want to make the hardware last 60 years. And I want to build it out of materials better than this plastic. I want to build the chassis out of titanium, and offer titanium as a panel finish as well, with all sorts of bright colours. On offer. And I want to make the panels available in other finishes like anodised aluminium and all these different colours, and finishes. And also I'd like to make it available in stainless steel and also transparent aluminium, otherwise known as Alon. But it's not really aluminium, it's a ceramic, but I'd like this material called Alon to be utilised as a choice of panel. So transparent panels for our photocopier would be a really interesting concept. I'm just wondering how I'm going to place this properly. I do think I might have to fold it because I want to get right into there. I want to get right up there. I think I did. Sorry folks, I'm really struggling here with this. Don't know which way I'm going to put it, folks. But basically I want to make this copier system something that's personable and exciting. And one of the things I'd like to do with this copier system would be to have artificial intelligence driving the features, so that you can actually and have the AI fitted as a factory standard for all the features that come with this machine. This machine's only, incidentally, sorry about the distraction, the machine will be sold with the basic, extremely basic features like enlargements and double-sided copying and shit like that. It won't even come with a document feeder. You don't want to have to just pay for stuff that you don't need or want. So yeah. And basically, the software indeed has to be, yeah, you can buy the extra features can be purchased as apps that you can buy at a store, similar to Google Play or iTunes, as we have nowadays. I'm not getting this looking good. So yeah, we're going to try our best to make the equipment really stand out from the rest of the kit companies. I don't know how this is going to work, folks. I'm trying to concentrate. It's hard to talk and do this at the same time, folks, to be honest. I'm doing very complicated things at the same time, trying to talk and make a demo, which is really proves to be really difficult. I'm going to move it up a bit. But yeah, I want these equipments to stand out from the rest. I don't want them to be anything like what we have this day and age. And it's got to be made out, and the hardware's got to be made out of recycled materials instead of, as much as you can, instead of mined materials. So you got to think of the future. You got to think to keep the mining, the minerals in the ground as long as possible for future generations. And basically, as I was saying about the software, you make the features available at a good price, cheap price, from an app store like Google Play or iTunes. I think I just repeated myself, folks. But basically, yeah, you got to make this machine customizable and personal, rather than something that, fuck, I can't do it, folks. Sorry about the can't do it. That's a childhood throwback for the disabilities that I have. I do have an intellectual disability that's gone undiagnosed, hasn't been diagnosed, and basically it used to make me at school scream out, I can't do it, it's too hard. So just to share a little personal memoir there, folks. I'm going to make it a movement piece, fuck it. I can't tolerate this shit. Trying to concentrate, trying to vlog and copy at the same time is not easy, folks, especially when it gets this hard, when I'm coming under the pump. But I found a nice piece out of it, and that was really nice. So we're going to go in there and make that out instead of this. This looks nice, but it wasn't to be, folks. But basically I'm trying to make the world a better place, and that's one of the things I'd like to do, is when I earn like billions of dollars building this copier system and distributing it and marketing it, I want to give most of that money away to good causes so that other people can benefit. So, you know, and basically, yeah, how should I put it? It's complicated, folks, very complicated. But, you know, you have to do things like that sometimes in life to make the world better and to help others less fortunate than yourself. You know, the world has got to be changed, and we've got to make the world more environmentally friendly. And that's another thing we're going to have to do, is use renewables to power the factory. Well, that's not a new concept, but it's something that just came to mind. And maybe if we need natural gas, find a what's the word? Not a compromise, a substitute for natural gas to power the blast furnaces to make the metals, because everything's going to be made in this factory, and we're going to need all this heavy industrial shit, and including a blast furnace, or we won't just have one of those. We'll probably need heaps of those. Do you think maybe less than 144? But yeah, we've got to try to find substitutes, like maybe a man-made version of natural gas, maybe something. I'm sure there are substitutes out there that they've already got or that they're already trialling. But we want to use as little natural gas as possible, and it's not good for the planet, being a greenhouse gas, if I'm correct. So we have to think for the future of mankind, the future of nature. We've got to do it, folks. I do think I'm going to trying to work this one out, folks. So I want to just take some of this top off. But yeah, the software, going back to the software of the equipment, basically it's going to be easy to, I told you about the app store, but the thing is with these apps have to be able to, when installed, seamlessly integrate with the artificial intelligence that's already built into the machine, controlling enlargement and shit. So we need the software to be compatible with the AI. We've got to make it really compatible. So you got to think really. You need people who are smart, people who are passionate, who want to do the right thing and can. And basically, we want to have more of that sort of thing, more of the good stuff, and basically the artificial intelligence and the installed and the purchased apps have to fucking integrate. So and also we've got to think of the factory workers in the factory, that they've got to be paid the right wage, as in the best wage they can get. They're going to be paid more than what they're worth, just a little bit. We don't want people being treated as slaves, even if they're migrants who are from another country, from fleeing from a war-torn country. They're going to be paid an equal pay to all the people who are Australian born. Of course, they're going to have to naturalise and become an Australian citizen. Of course, they have to do that, and they have to speak and write clear English. Because I must admit, I struggle myself when someone doesn't speak good English, clear English. I find it really hard to get the message across. I'm not trying to be mean and horrible, folks. I feel guilty saying that, but I'm just being honest, folks. They have to have good English. Skilled migrants. But, there'll always be jobs available, because this company will expand its operations, I envisage, overseas. And these people who are living in India, for example, or China, they can basically get a job as doing technician work, even if they can't. Of course, they live in those countries, of course. But basically, speaking of those countries, we've got to clean up the electronic waste dumps around the world in places like India and China to make their country a nice, clean and green place for everyone to live. And that's what I want to do, is the recycled materials, much of them will be sourced from places like that. And basically, because they need to have their lives improved. It's not fair for them that we Westerners dump our shit on their shores. It's not fair, folks, but we've got to do something. And the list of things could probably go on, and now that's come up looking quite a treat. I think we can now call this demo quits.